Now, the biggest problem about doing these videos is trying to find a topic to actually do them on. I'm not going to do movie reviews anymore because they just get taken down and then I got to re-edit it 20 times unless you stop laughing at me. Because they just get taken down and then I got to re-edit them 20 times until I find the problem, and then by the end I'm taking so much out the video's shit anyway. So we're not doing that. I'm going to stick to history videos because I like doing them. The reason why it's called Hidden History is so I can talk about stuff hardly anyone knows about. It's hard to me if actually... What do you keep laughing at? So what we're going to do is we're going to...
Whoa.
We're going to talk about multiple things. Alright, so let's start with Port Kembla. Because we all know that Port Kembla is the best suburb in Wollongong. You know there was even a doco made on Port Kembla last week? We're going to go, but someone was a bit late.
I don't remember that.
So all the way in the 50s through to the 90s, Port Kembla was famous for its massive sand dunes along the beach. And one day, gone. They disappeared. Now there are rumours that say that we sent the sand to Hawaii to help re-nourish their beaches. But some claim that the sand on the beach that supposedly came from us is nothing like ours. So when you go to Port Kembla now, you will notice that it's a bit dead. It's a ghost town over there. And in the doco that came out last week, they kind of explained that. They said after the construction of the inner harbour in the late 50s, they blocked off the main road to Port Kembla, so you don't actually have to go through it to get anywhere anymore. The only reason to visit Port Kembla now is if you want to visit it. Now all you have to do is just drive along Five Islands Road straight to the Warrong, or go along the lake, which was actually the home of the Lake Illawarra ferry. The Marinda, I think it's pronounced. The Marinda was a 2-deck ferry that travelled around the lake in the 80s and 90s. And with the power of editing, the camera has moved.
Magic.
People used to hire the ferry for weddings, birthdays, Christmas parties, or even just to cruise around the lake. It was only in operation for a couple of years until its removal from the lake in 1992 and transported up to Darling Harbour, where it was more popular than it was here. I think it recently even went up for auction, just like a couple of months ago. Now let's bring it back towards me a little bit, bring it back towards home, and we're going to talk about Pucky's estate. Yes, I know it's regarded as pedo paradise. It's bloody scary going through there in the dark, but why is it actually called Pucky's estate? Well, in 1905, a man named Courtney Pucky bought that entire area to convert it into his salt works. The graduation tower stood 9.15 metres high and used a pretty old method to extract the salt from the ground. Remnants of its machinery can still be seen along the northern side of the lagoon, along with parts of his house, wharf and jetty. He was also experimenting with other salt works in North Wollongong Beach during the 1890s. Only parts of the house can be seen, like the stairs and some of the foundation. I don't know where it is because Pucky's is a big place. Where do you reckon the house is?
What house?
Were you even listening?
No.
Oh, okay. Pucky's house. Apparently there was a house in Pucky's estate.
I don't know.
No.
We couldn't find it.
Did we even look for it?
I thought we did.
No. There's like an actual house in the bushland bit.
We should look for it.
Yeah, we should.
If it's still there.
Well, apparently only the stairs and the foundation is left.
Yeah.
No.
It might be what we saw, those foundations, in the water.
No, it wasn't along the water. It was in
the bush.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason why it isn't there anymore is because of vandals ripping the house apart. What the fuck is that? You sent a photo.
Yeah. That was like 2 minutes ago.
Now, yeah, the reason it's not there anymore is because of the vandals ripping apart the house until it was completely demolished. Now Pucky's has a reputation of being creepy, haunted, and the home of incidents that weren't reported in the paper.
Little boys getting touched.
Oh my God, don't say that! This is a kids program!
Not anymore.
Along with being the home of a coal loading jetty and a fucking dangerous reef, Bellambi Beach was also home to a lighthouse. It was powered by the electricity from the mine and was built to allow ships to access the jetty at night, and to also warn them of the fucking reef below. The last of the shipwrecks along Bellambi Beach was the Memora in 1949. I've already spoken about that in my Bellambi Jetty video, but the light was just a beacon that sat atop a 15-metre steel tower. The light can be seen from 13 k's out to sea, but it was decommissioned in 1954 and the jetty washed away a year later. The light is now part of the Illawarra Museum collection, and the tower it sat on is believed to still be in existence, but no one knows for sure. Excuse me.
Shut up, keep doing your movie.
Are they good?
Yes.
They're hot.
Oh, yeah, well, they just come. Did you turn the oven off?
No. I didn't.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna play.
I did.
Dudes! In 1974, AC/DC played at the Corrimal Community Hall, which is now the Miners Theatre across from 7-Eleven. Corrimal Community Hall has been credited as one of the band's first gigs. Entry fee was only $1, and it was part of their first album release tour. There's also something in the paper about them playing at Bulli and Woonona High, our old high school, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. Now, since we're on the subject of Corrimal and music, let's give a shout out to the 70s singer Earl Dalby. Dalby? Formed in 1960s by Corrimal High School students, Earl's Chord was a local band that played around town, including Corrimal Community Hall and Wonderland in Russellvale. In May of 1970, Earl joined Sydney band Pyramid and released a 2-track single, Let Me Be Yours Until Tomorrow and Can't Wait Until September, which I actually have up there. Let's fucking bring it down and we'll put it on. I ordered this a couple of weeks ago on eBay from Newcastle and I got it the next morning. Like, I ordered it at 8 o'clock and I got it the next morning in the mail. That is what you call express post. Does anyone want to listen to it?
Yeah, chuck it on.
Okay, fine, I'll fucking put it on. Fuck yeah.
I can't wait for September. When the summer's gone and I feel the first sign of
Cold winds to come. It's fucking sick song, I don't care what you say.
kind of chilly, you might say. Time I'm gonna take a long, lonely walk to that little old house on the hill. So I can remember last September. Oh, can't wait for September. To see your eyes and feel your warm and smile again.
It's not bad.
Fuck yeah, this guy was from Coral. Hey, around the corner.
I felt like it was better when he was talking. Like before he was singing.
Can't wait for September. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully you can hear me over the music. Then you want to turn it down just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, can't you just put the song over on editing?
I could, but it's not as good.
Did you say on editing?
On the editing.
On
On
In post, it's pronounced.
what?
Is it pronounced in post?
What?
Post editing.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, bitch.
Now, on the record, it's credited as Pyramid, featuring Earl Dalby, where in fact Pyramid actually had nothing to do with the recording of this this single. Earl's Chord had paid for the record to be pressed. It was something to do with the recording company that insisted calling it Pyramid featuring Earl Dalby. Can't Wait for September, this song playing now, was released in November of 1970 and peaked at number 24 on the Go Set Top 60 chart. Earl Dalby passed away in 2011, but released a few more singles within his career, but they're pretty rare and I can't be bothered to look for them. If you want to read more about Earl Dalby, Pyramid and Earl's Court, there is a whole article thing on the Steel City Sound Archive website. Just to see you again, I can't wait for September. Did you ever wonder that?
I'm not even here away.
You want me to read it again?
No, or if you want.
Okay. So, in the year of 1970, in the year of 1770, Captain Cooko first attempted to land at Woonona Point. The story tells of how Cook wanted to stock up on the Endeavour's water supply from Collins Creek, right next to the pool there. So the crew deployed a small rowboat to go ashore, but due to the tide and surf conditions, they weren't able to get in. So they fucked off up to Botany Bay instead. So if you've ever wondered why all those portraits of Captain Cook are along the wall above the pools, that's the reason. Yeah. You knew that. I told you that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know they wanted water though.
Yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And that they just get it from a creek.
well, that's the only thing they had back
Nah, they had to go get it from the shops.
Yeah, well, they should.
then. Let's end this video with a ghost story about Mount Kembla. Mount Kira.
Oh, is it even good?
It's the one that you fucking the car one.
That's boring. Or was it? I don't remember the story though.
Okay. The Legend of Mount Kira. Now, I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to read what it says. Okay, so, in the early 1900s, a little girl went for a walk in the bushland behind her house. By nightfall, she didn't come back and her mother was getting worried. They sent out a search party to look for her, and 3 days later, they found a ribbon from her hair tied around a tree branch. They never found any other trace of her. Now, if you drive up to Mount Kembla at night, turn off the car and wind the windows up. It is said that the car will quickly fog up and tiny handprints will appear on the driver's side window. Is it the little girl trying to get our attention? Is she still wandering through the bushland? Lost? Trying to get home? That's up for you to decide. So, yeah, go up there, see what happens, and see what happens.
Whoa.
But don't crash into trees like they do up there. And fade out. Me and the boys can't stop laughing while filming.
What? Is that what you did? You just made that just then. Fucking hell.
What was there?
Emotions I just can't control.
What are you gonna do with that?
There's one tape.
Oh,
I taped his wires with it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that.
did you start filming?
What?